Hi, Karla here. Welcome back to my channel where I like to find the fun and magic in everyday things. Obviously, my birthday's almost here. And as I was preparing for my annual birthday ritual, I thought I'd share my process with you so maybe you can use it as an example or a basis to create your own birthday ritual. Now, the end result is going to be a birthday candle jar. But the magic is in the process. So come along and let's have some birthday fun. Oh, for Pete's sake, this isn't right. Yes, this is my birthday candle spell jar, just bursting with wonderful energetics that support my intentions for the next trip around the sun. But this is near the end of the story. So let's back up and start at the beginning. Okay, that's better. The first thing I like to do is decide on my next year's theme and intention. Now, the main way I do this is I look at my solar return chart. I've done this every year for the last 20 or so years because it gives me excellent insight into the energies and potential things of the year ahead. Now, you may not have heard of a solar return chart, and I want to make it clear that I am not an astrologer, but I'll try to give a simple explanation as I know it. A solar return is when the sun returns to the exact same spot in the sky where it was when you were born. Basically, when any planet or luminary comes back to the exact degrees and minutes of the sign it was in when you were born, that's called a return. So how frequently you get a return depends on the particular planet cycle. For example, the moon or lunar cycle takes 28 days to complete its cycle through all 12 signs, whereas Saturn, the taskmaster planet, takes about 29 years. So you'll see a Saturn return about 3 times in your life. The sun, on the other hand, takes a year to complete its cycle. So you get a solar return every year within 1 or 2 days of your actual birthday. With me so far? Okay. Now, even though the sun is in the same spot it was in when you were born, it's not necessarily going to be in the same house. In case you're unfamiliar, every chart is divided into 12 houses, each ruling a different area of life. For example, my sun on the day I was born was in the 9th house, which rules spirituality, higher education, and travel. But this year, it's hanging out in the 6th house, which rules health, work, and service. I look at the house placements of all the solar return planets and luminaries to see possible changes in my psychological landscape and potential areas for internal growth. And I say possible and potential because we have free will. So how we handle a situation will determine how things go. The solar return chart gives me a great heads up. Now, this is just the smallest bit of what you can learn and do with a solar return chart. Now, the best way to get an in-depth solar return chart is to order a written report from an astrologer. They're really easy to find online, usually not expensive at all. But if you're interested about learning more and diving deeper, there's lots of information online, and you can also check out a few books. Now, this is the book I love for its detailed interpretations. I wouldn't classify it as a book for beginners, but like I said, just do your research and follow your intuition. I also like to consider my personal year in numerology when deciding on my theme for the year. In numerology, we all experience yearly cycles from the day we're born until we pass away. And knowing your personal year number helps to establish a general framework for the year based on the basic energy of that number. And like I said earlier, we have free will. So how it shows up for you will be very personal to you. Calculating your number is pretty simple. You add together your birth month plus your birthday plus the current year. So let's say your birthday is February 16th and the current year is 2023. You would add all the numbers until you get to a single digit. In this case, your personal year would be the number 7. Once you have your personal year number, you can find lots of information online to digest and use. Oh, and one more thing. Some numerologists consider your personal year number to run from birthday to birthday, others from year to year. Because my birthday is in December, I go year to year. You do what works best for you. I also like to commune with spirit through meditation and prayer, and then I journal the messages that I receive. After that, depending on what I feel drawn to do, I'll do a tarot or oracle card reading or whatever feels right in the moment. It's just a very intuitive process for me. Once I know my theme for the year, I write my intention. Now, with my intention in hand, I decide what areas of support I'll need for the upcoming year, and I make a list. I use these 2 books to find correspondences for those areas of support to use in my birthday candle spell jar. I choose herbs and oils that I already have on hand and I resonate with. And even though I have an herbal apothecary, you can easily find correspondences in your kitchen, garden, or even the grocery store. You don't need anything fancy. Now for my birthday candle spell jar, I use a small jar with a lid and a candle. This year, my theme relates to healthy aging, spiritual growth, and service to others. So I've chosen the following herbal correspondences for willpower, well-being, transformation, success, strength, spirituality, overcoming obstacles, motivation, learning and knowledge, empowerment, creativity, and balance. I also added my own blend of spiritual oil. Remember, I'm not suggesting you use the herbs that I've used. Use this as an example of how to make your own unique birthday candle jar. Next, I place my written intention into the jar. I then light the candle, and as it burns, I focus on my intention. I consider it as already fulfilled. I express my gratitude to the divine. And when it has burned down to the herbs, I blow out the candle, put the lid on, and I place it on my seasonal altar. It stays there all year until my next birthday. At that time, I open the jar with gratitude and love, empty the contents of the jar as appropriate, and then I clean and reuse that same jar for the upcoming year. I really love this birthday ritual because it works really well for me. And I hope I've given you a few ideas for you to create your own ritual and birthday candle spell jar. And as always, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you on my next adventure.